All right, everybody, welcome back. We are kicking off another deep dive, and today we're tackling something that's pretty important,
Yeah.
And that's disability insurance.
For sure.
Now, you're here listening because you're smart, you're thinking ahead, and you're probably wondering, how can I protect my income?
Right.
Because life can throw some pretty unexpected curveballs sometimes.
Absolutely it can.
So we're going to break it all down for you today.
Yeah.
What disability insurance actually is.
Yep.
Why it's so important, and things that you really need to consider, when you're thinking about getting it.
Absolutely.
Now, to guide us through all of this, we've got an expert here with us today.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome. So glad to have you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's just jump right into it, okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
When I first started, looking into disability insurance, it felt like a completely different language.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa.
It's a lot of jargon.
But the more I learned, the more I was like, okay, this is crucial.
It is.
This is something that people really need to understand.
You really do.
So can you break it down for us?
Yeah.
What exactly is disability insurance?
So disability insurance, it's basically designed to replace a portion of your income if for whatever reason you can't work.
Okay.
And that could be due to an illness, it could be due to an injury, something unexpected.
Right.
So think of it like a financial safety net.
Okay.
Just in case your paycheck suddenly stops coming in.
Yeah, you just can't work anymore.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Now, there are two main types that we talk about.
Okay.
We've got short-term disability insurance, which is going to cover you for a shorter period of time, like a few months. And then you've got long-term disability insurance,
Okay.
which could actually provide you with benefits for years.
Yeah.
And in some cases, even until retirement.
So it's kind of like that backup generator that you have in your house.
Yeah.
You hope you never need to use it. But when the power goes out, you're like, thank goodness.
Exactly. You're really grateful you have it.
But why should our listeners really care about this?
Right. So it's easy to think, oh, that'll never happen to me.
Yeah.
But statistically, 1 in 4 of us are going to experience some kind of disability before we retire.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a pretty significant risk.
1 in 4.
1 in 4.
That's high.
It is. And, for a lot of us, our income, it covers everything, right?
Yeah.
Rent, mortgage, groceries, bills, all of that stuff.
Everything.
And an unexpected disability that could seriously throw a wrench in your financial plans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's say someone's listening and they're thinking, okay, maybe this is something I should look into.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you need to consider when you're comparing different disability insurance options?
All right, so the first thing you want to look at is the definition of disability in the policy.
Okay.
Because they're not all created equal. Yeah, some of them are going to have a very strict definition of disability. And they'll only cover you if you literally can't work any job.
Wow. Okay.
So imagine, for example, a surgeon who injures their hand.
Okay.
Now, they might not be able to perform surgery anymore.
Right.
But they could potentially still teach or consult.
Yeah.
A stricter policy might not cover that.
Oh, wow.
But other policies, they're a little bit more flexible.
Okay.
And they might cover you if you can't perform the duties of your specific occupation.
So it's really important to look at the fine print.
It really is the devil's in the detail.
Okay. So what else is important?
You also really want to consider the benefit amount and the duration.
Okay.
So let's say, hypothetically, you make $5,000 a month. Would a policy that replaces $2,000 of that be enough to cover your essential expenses?
Probably not.
Probably not, right?
Yeah.
And then think about how long are you going to need that support for?
Right.
Is it just a few months to recover from a broken leg? Or could it be years if you're dealing with a chronic illness?
Yeah.
You really need to think about your own individual needs.
Right.
And what would actually provide you with enough coverage.
It's like tailoring a suit.
Yeah,
You need the right fit
you do.
for your situation.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what about that waiting period
Right.
before the benefits actually kick in?
Yeah, so there's usually a waiting period, kind of like a deductible you have with other types of insurance.
Okay.
This could be anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. So let's say you suddenly can't work because of a back injury.
Okay.
And your policy has a 3-month waiting period. You're going to need to have enough money saved up
Sure.
to cover all your expenses during that time before those benefits actually start.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And I imagine the cost of these premiums can vary quite a bit.
They absolutely do. Premiums are going to depend on things like your age, your health, your occupation,
Right.
and all those specific coverage details. Yeah.
So someone in a high-risk job, they're probably going to pay more for their insurance than someone who sits at a desk all day.
Okay.
It's kind of like car insurance.
Yeah.
You know, insuring a sports car usually costs more than insuring a minivan.
Right. Yeah.
So it's important to shop around, compare quotes from different companies.
Gotcha.
Don't just settle for the first one you see.
You know, this whole conversation's really got me thinking.
Yeah.
Like we spend so much time, you know, focusing on our physical health.
Right.
Like going to the gym and eating right and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But what about our financial health?
That's a great point.
You know, disability insurance. It's kind of like that financial gym membership.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, you know, you might not want to pay for it every month.
Yeah.
But when you need it,
you're really glad you have it.
You're really glad you have it.
Exactly.
So listener, as you're kind of like absorbing all this information, do you feel like you have like a basic grasp of disability insurance?
Or are there some questions that you still have that we haven't really addressed?
I think it's important to remember this is just a starting point.
Right.
You really need to do your own research.
Yeah.
Compare those different policies from different companies and ask questions.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, definitely. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Because protecting your income.
It's a crucial part of planning for the future.
Absolutely. Could not agree more.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.